Hi! Today we're going to talk about, sorry, I'm just dropping my controller. We're going to talk about East of the Sun, West of the Moon, which is a fairly well-known story, but it still doesn't get talked about enough. None of them get talked about enough. There's just so much going on. So we start on a Thursday with a bear showing up at a house and asking a man, hey, can I have your youngest daughter? If you give her to me, I will make you rich. Now the dad thinks that that's a great plan. The youngest daughter, understandably, is not so keen on it. But the dad takes about a week to convince her, and then the following Thursday, the bear comes and takes the girl away with him. Now, this is fairly odd for an enchanted bridegroom story. Typically, there's more of a reason for the girl to go with the beast. Usually it's the dad doing something stupid, like stealing from the beast. Occasionally it's the dad just being in a very difficult position because the beast is so much more powerful than him. Or the beast has friends or family who are, like in Prince Lindworm, when the Lindworm's dad is the king and forces the girl to marry the Lindworm. This is just, the bear just shows up and suggests this out of nowhere. He has no connection with this family. It's so weird. Like, why would you go with that? Why would you trust a strange bear to bring you great wealth in exchange for your daughter? You have no idea what's going to happen to your daughter in this case. The situation is not dire. There's no good reason to go along with this. But he does, and the girl goes to live with the bear. And every night, a strange man joins her in bed, and she never sees him because it's always dark. And this whole thing, where she's in the palace with the unknown man during the night and the bear during the day, only takes about a paragraph. So we don't get a lot of details. We don't really know what's happening between the girl and the mystery man, what their relationship is like. But the girl gets homesick after a while, and the bear agrees to take her to visit her family on the condition that she promises not to spend any time alone with her mom. Well, naturally, she blows it. She goes and spends some time alone with her mom and tells her mom all about the strange man who's joining her in bed every night. And her mom is horrified. And the narrative kind of treats it like, the mom is the problem here. She messed everything up. And if you read a lot of adaptations and retellings, they'll also act like the mom is the problem. But she's so right. Her daughter is basically being held hostage by a talking bear. And now a strange man is in her bed every night. She has no idea what this guy looks like. She's never seen him during the day. Are they even talking to each other? Are they doing anything? Or are they just both sleeping? We don't know. The mom might know, or the girl might not have told her either. But either way, there's a strange man in her daughter's bed at night. That is concerning. If she can't get her daughter back home where it's safe permanently, the least she can do is encourage her daughter to at least find out who or what she's sleeping with. The mom is concerned that it might be a troll. You don't want to share a bed with a troll. Bad things happen. I am 100% on the mom's side here. She is in the right. Maybe she would have made a different decision if she had more information, but with the information she has, she should absolutely be encouraging her daughter to investigate further. This is a very concerning situation. So the daughter goes home, and she goes to bed, and the strange man appears, and she decides her mom is right. She's really curious, and her mom gave her a little candle. So she lights it and turns around to see what she's sharing a bed with. And it's a really hot guy. And she's so surprised that she lets some of the tallow from the candle drip onto his shirt, which wakes him. And then he's very, very upset because if she had just continued sleeping with a strange man with no explanation for a year, then he would have been free. But now he has to return to his stepmother, who cursed him to be a bear in the first place, and his stepsister, who he will have to marry. They are both trolls. His stepsister has a nose that is 3 L's long. I did look this up. I did some math. Her nose is 11 feet and 3 inches long, which is just I feel like that's going to cause some complications. Like, the logistics, like, I guess she's had a huge nose her whole life. She's probably used to navigating around it, you know, like, I mean, I'm picturing, you know, we've got the wedding and the kiss and kind of what angle does he have to come at to avoid running into her nose that is, like, twice as long as he is tall. She must be running into things constantly. Like, I've been in rooms that are less than 11 feet wide. Like, it's a really long nose. It's going to make her life difficult. Like, I feel bad. But also, she's his stepsister. So, why... I don't really understand why they need the marriage. Because, presumably, you know, his troll stepmom married his dad, and that would have given them, it would have been a good political marriage. You know, she would have gained some power by being married to the king. I'm assuming he was a king because we know the bear is a prince. So, I don't know where the dad is now. Does the dad die? We don't know. We never hear anything about him. But, like, you've already married into this family. So what does having your daughter marry into it again accomplish? It seems like, you know, you could just leave him as a bear and then you could rule as queen regent forever because the rightful heir is missing. Like, why bring the marriage into it? Maybe the troll daughter is in love with this guy. We don't know at what point their parents married, how long they've known each other, if they, like, grew up together, or if they were both pretty much adults when they met. Maybe it's driven by actual romantic interest, not, you know, a quest for power and control and influence or whatever, but there's not really any indication in the text that the troll princess feels very strongly one way or another. And, you know, no one ever touches on this. There are a lot of different East of Sun, West of the Moon stories, and none of them ever really talk about the fact that the bear prince and the troll he's supposed to marry are step-siblings, which I think is one of the most interesting things about the story. But anyway, the prince has to go because she looked at his face, which no one told her wasn't a rule. Like, if she had any idea that he was under a spell and she couldn't see his face or everything would be ruined, she probably wouldn't have looked. Like, they need to communicate better. You can't hold her responsible for breaking a rule that she did not know existed. Yeah, the prince tells her that he has to go to stay with the trolls in a land east of the sun, west of the moon. And then he's gone. And she figures, okay, well, I screwed this whole thing up, so I better go track him down and save him from the trolls. So she sets off in search of him. She meets an old woman who doesn't know how to get there, but lends her a horse and gives her a golden apple and directions to another old woman who might know more. Second old woman also doesn't know more, but gives her a horse and a golden carding comb and instructions to a third old woman who gives her a horse, instructions to find the east wind, and a spinning wheel, a golden spinning wheel. Like, spinning wheels are not small. You could have a spindle. That's pretty easily portable. That's a little handheld device. But like a spinning wheel, that's large. How are you going to be lugging a spinning wheel with you on this journey to find a land that might not even exist? But if it does, it's very, very, very far from you. It's not practical. I don't see it working well. But anyway, she goes to the east wind. The east wind takes her on a ride to the west wind. The west wind takes her to find the south wind. The south wind takes her to find the north wind. The north wind finally knows where the land east of the sun and west of the moon is located and is willing to take her. One thing I do find really interesting here is the parallels. When she first goes to live with the bear, she gets onto his back and he asks, "Are you afraid?" And she says, "No, I am not afraid." And then the bear takes her home. When she climbs on the back of the north wind also asks, "Are you afraid?" And And she says, no, I am not afraid. And the North Wind takes her to the trolls. So they arrive at the troll palace, and she finds the troll princess, who's probably pretty easy to find because of her distinctive 11-foot-long nose. And she sits outside the princess's window and starts playing with her golden apple. And the princess leaves out, and she's like, hey, that looks cool. Can I have it? And the princess said, not the princess, I'm sorry, I have too many characters. There's not even that many characters, I'm just losing track of what I'm doing. The girl says that she will give her the apple in exchange for a night with the man that the troll is engaged to marry. Troll agrees, which either she really, really wants a golden apple, or she really is not that interested in her future husband, because, I mean, that's a weird deal to make. So the girl spends the night with her bear prince, but he's been drugged. He doesn't wake up. So the next night, she exchanges the golden carding comb for another night with the prince, who again does not wake. And by the third night, some Christians who are being held captive in the palace have noticed what's going on, and they let the prince know, so he doesn't eat or drink the drugged stuff that he's been given that night. In Norwegian fairy tales, you kind of have two opposing sides to everything, which are sort of Christians and trolls. It seems like you're pretty much either a Christian or a troll. It's an interesting dynamic. But the third night, she gives the troll princess her spinning wheel, which again, I have no idea how she got it here. And the prince is awake, and they talk and make a plan, because the wedding is the next day, so they're out of time now. They gotta plan fast. And they implement the plan. During the wedding ceremony, the prince says to the trolls, hey, I have promised that I will only marry a woman who is able to pass this one, test. And the trolls are like, okay, yeah, sure, that's cool. Which is weird, because, I mean, they already turned him into a bear, and he was never, he never consented to this wedding, so, why are they suddenly willing to agree to his conditions when they were willing to turn him into a bear about it before? But he says, I have this shirt. It's got these spots of tallow on it. I really want to wear it for the wedding ceremony, but it needs to be laundered first. I will only marry a woman who is decent at laundry. And the troll princess is like, oh, sure, I can do that. Now, to be clear, this is the shirt that our girl spilled the tallow on when she was looking at his face when she wasn't supposed to earlier. Which means this is the shirt he sleeps in. Why would you want the same shirt to be your sleeping shirt and your wedding ceremony shirt? It doesn't really matter. Anyway, it turns out trolls cannot do laundry. Only Christians can do laundry. I mean, I'm a Christian and I can do laundry, but I'm fairly positive that those two things are not connected. I've met lots of people from lots of religious backgrounds who are also capable of doing laundry. Granted, I've never met a troll who's capable of doing laundry, but I've never met a troll at all. So, yeah, just in this world, only Christians are capable of laundry, apparently. So the troll can't get the tallow out. She just makes it worse. Her mom tries. She can't get it out either. All the other trolls try. None of the trolls can get the tallow out of the shirt. And then he says, look, there's that random girl over there, I bet she can do it. So our girl comes and she cleans the tallow right out of the shirt. And the prince is like, okay, well, I mean, you all failed my test, so I'm gonna marry her, sorry. And all of the trolls are so upset that they explode. And then the prince and the girl rescue all the other Christians who are being held captive in the palace, and they go home and they live happily ever after. It's a really fun story. It's always been one of my favorites. It's, I think, one of a lot of people's favorites because it's one of the best known kind of Norwegian stories here and now in America in 2024. I mean, there's some others that you hear about, but really the only one I can think of that's like, that you hear a lot about from Aspenson and Moe is the Three Billy Goats Gruff. I think the Three Billy Goats Gruff is Aspenson and Moe. I'm not sure right now. Anyway, it is probably the most popular Norwegian fairy tale, Isås and West of the Moon. And for good reason, it's great, but a lot of the things that I think make it really great are not the ones that are really remembered and talked about, like this whole sibling dynamic, or the laundry thing. That's so weird. Only Christians can do laundry? It makes no sense. I love it. It's one of my favorite parts of the story because it's just nonsensical. And the sibling thing. Oh, I wish more people talked about the sibling thing. That's so interesting. And the mom, like, I get that in this story type, the mom actually, not the mom, but the person who fills that role actually is often evil, because you look at like Cupid and Psyche, which is often considered one of the earliest stories of this type. I mean, a clear predecessor to Isås and West of the Moon, but also kind of a predecessor to all of the Enchanted Bridegroom, Beauty and the Beast type stories. And the characters who filled the role of Isås and West of the Moon's mother in that story are Psyche's sisters, who are legitimately out to get her. So you can kind of see where the idea that the mom is the bad guy comes down historically from other stories following the same trends, but she's not wrong! Good moms do not let their single daughters who are being held hostage by talking bears just share a bed with strange men! Like, she's right! She's so right! Isås and West of the Moon. The mom is not evil. The mom rocks. Remember that. Bye. Okay, a couple side notes if I can figure out how to add this video to that video later when I post this. First of all, sorry about the fan that started going off halfway through. It was my heater. I confirmed Billy Goats are Aspenson and Moe, are Norwegian. The other thing, the actual reason that I was recording this extra bit is, okay, the mom is right. You know who's wrong? The dad. Every time I hear other versions of this story, they're all anti-mom and pro-dad. The mom is trying to protect her daughter from what might be a troll who is in her bedroom at night when she is vulnerable and asleep. The dad gave his daughter away to a talking bear for money. There's no indication that, like, the bear is the last thing between the... It's not like there's a guarantee that the family is all going to die of starvation if the bear does not step in here. Like, it doesn't seem like it's that bad. I mean, they're poor, but the real bad guy here is the dad. Good dads do not sell their daughters to talking bears. Okay, sorry, done now. Bye.